Yeah. 20-page paper, the better. All right, so let's take a look at game 143, Slouching Towards Bedlam. This comes to us courtesy of Tech Loofer. It was his raffle pick that he won. This is actually, this game will take a distinction. It'll be the newest or most recent game we'll have played on the Quest. This game's from 2003. Finaza, thanks very much for the bits. The 10 bits. Let's go in, Finaza. Appreciate it. So I think the two before today was Slouching Towards Bedlam. The two most recent games we had played were 1998, that honor shared by Anchorhead, which is another quote-unquote amateur IF game, or indie IF game. No, probably amateur, right? And Fuck Quest, two amateur games. So like, really the last kind of commercial DOS releases that we've seen were all like 97, I think. Right? I think. Callahan's Cross Time Saloon, I think, was 97. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what Reg's remark was about. 2003. It won first place in the 2003 Interactive Fiction Competition. Collaboration between Daniel Ravipinto and Star Foster. The game was a finalist for 8 2003 XYZZY Awards, winning for Best Game, Best Setting, Best Story, and Best Individual NPC. The game takes place in a steampunk Victorian-era setting, and its title is inspired by a line from The Second Coming, a poem by W.B. Yeats. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of visual novels. In fact, I don't know if I've played any, but my impression has been visual novels like don't really have puzzles so much, when IF is very much about puzzles. Or most of them anyway. Hi Naza, thanks for the 20 bits. Oh, Bedlam. Oh, yeah, that's a different game entirely, right? Yeah. Yeah, and there's a little bit of a debate. Well, not a debate. Nico, who's familiar with the game, and others. So yeah, apparently there are multiple endings to the game. Again, I don't know. I know nothing about the game other than just the basic information that we're reading now. So as far as like a win condition, if it's not like discreetly bad endings or good endings. Goxera, thanks very much for the host. Like normally, we've played plenty of games that have multiple endings, and usually, it's pretty easy to distinguish what's a good ending or what's a bad ending. And we always try to go for a good ending. That may not be quite the case this time around. It could be a little more subjective, perhaps. I don't know. Again, depends on the plot line. We'll see. But we're going to have to decide in the moment if we consider that, hey, that's a satisfactory ending, we'll say, and we call it there. So, yeah, I'm going to rely on you guys too, or those of you who know, like Nico specifically who's here. Tack, if Tack stops. Tack's in the chat. Tack, are you here now? Tack's in the chat. I don't know if he's actively here, but he's in the room. So I'll be relying on those who know the game fairly well. Yeah. Well, Mackenzie and Co. we knew, the way I viewed a game like that is I just try to play through all of the content and I try to view it 6 different chapters so we get all the endings. That's case by case. Oh, Machirian, you know the game as well? All endings is an option, but I don't know if it's going to be clear how to get all of the endings, so that I don't know. We're just going to have to see. I know this makes guessing the time difficult, but it's impossible for me to weigh in on it because it would be a spoiler, so I can't figure that out. Oh, really, Nico? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, we can always pause the timer if we hit an ending, figure out whether that is a good ending or a win condition or whatever, and take it from there. Anyway, the Slouching Towards Bedlam was Daniel Ravipinto's second publicly released game after 1996's Tapestry. Actually, see, is Tapestry also on the list? It is on the list, okay. Ravipinto works professionally as a computer programmer. Co-author Star Foster was a newcomer to writing interactive fiction. She worked professionally in marketing, but died in September 2006, so 3 years after the game was released. I think she was an editor of Phileast. I don't know, for those Americans who know like Gothamist, DCist, LAist, Chicagoist, there used to be something in that network called Phileast for Philadelphia, and I think she was an editor of that site. So both Foster and Ravipinto lived in Philadelphia and met there. They collaborated on design and development, and actual programming was entirely done by Ravipinto. Okay, sounds good, Nico. Again, and don't worry, Nico, I didn't read the summary on Wikipedia. We will just read like very high level about the story from IFDB. And Nazza, thank you for the 10 bits. Yeah, maybe we're just gonna have to see. I don't know. It's tough to speculate about now for those of us who are going into the game blind, right? So this is just the quick the quick short description about the story on IFDB. In the beginning was the Word, and it was hungry. Enter a steampunk adventure set in a London that might have been. The year's 1885. Bedlam Hospital still stands in Mooresfield, a decaying shell used to house the poor and the hopeless. Steam-driven mechanical wonders roam the streets. Gear-wheeled analytical engines spin out reams of thought onto punched paper tapes. And in the darkness, in the alleys and the side shops, hide secrets. Alright, so that's it. I mean, we don't have, again, there's no manual for this game. I think there may be some help just when I fired it up. I think there is some help available in-game, which we'll read. Very quick help section, but no manual. So that's kind of it. I guess we'll turn buys back on. We'll do last call, by the way, for time guesses. If you haven't submitted, again, it's going to be a little bit hard this time, but due to the uncertainty of the win condition, but doesn't hurt to make a guess. Why not? And also, we'll turn buys on if anyone wants to make any buys. Yeah, I don't think there was any footage of the game on YouTube, actually. It's a good point, Silo. Because I think I looked for the trailers. Yeah, there was no... I didn't see any gameplay footage on YouTube. Yeah, I always take the most recent submission for if someone submits more than once. So no worries there, Classy. We'll give like another 30 seconds for final guess time and death submissions. Yeah, feel free to Maturin if you want to resubmit, because it sounds like all endings. Well, I don't know what it sounds like. All endings might be like. I mean, do we even know how many endings there are? There's a walkthrough. Yeah, so I guess we could always do like a walkthrough just to see them if people are interested. We'll have to figure it out. Is it a spoiler to say how many endings there are? Probably not, right? All right, looks like a couple of submissions are still coming in. So give like 15 more seconds. There are 5 endings. Okay, thanks, Nico. Yeah, I didn't think it would be. Yeah, I was gonna say like some game. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the name of the game. I remember there was one game that where there were like 16 discrete endings for it, but I've forgotten which game it was. May not even have been an IF game, but I remember there were like a ton. That game was not 9 Princes in Amber. I remember we didn't. I remember we even got on stream a bunch of bad endings in 9 Princes in Amber. That wouldn't be surprised. That game probably had several. Yeah, if we're 50 endings, like in a way that's like doable. All right, so we're no longer accepting responses. All right, so yeah, I do see 2 from Classy. Or that one. There are 2 from Ambrosine. I think everyone else just submitted once. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me also turn off the buys. All right, so time guesses. Here's what you stand away depending on how close you are. Nico, look at this. Low time guess, 20 minutes. Classy fellow. First one over an hour. Along with Dark. Lester, 2 hours. Aardvark, 3 hours. BDR, 4 hours. Shakai, 5 hours. Hakive, 6 hours. Miria, 8. Rex, 9. Hilk, 11. We jump way up to Servo at 18 hours. Materian, 20 hours. Walter, 35 hours. Earth, 89 hours and 28 minutes. And Edgar Allan Poe says, to quote the Raven, nevermore. Yeah, the one thing Nico said, I mean, Nico's played the game before, so 25 minutes. Or 20 minutes, wow. Okay, yeah, so it might be quite short, we'll see. No, sorry, did we see bomb bursts? Oh, yes, there you are, bomb bursts, 2 hours, 45 minutes. Yes, yours went through. Hey, Jen. And we have death guesses. Now, many people there, including Nico, with 0 deaths, guessing 0 deaths. Mantis with 1. Moth at 10 deaths. EDR the first at 20. Jump up to Jen, 40. Oldemar's 50. Servo, 80. Earth Machine guess, oh, just 8. 8 question mark. And Edgar, oh yeah, there we go. Edgar Allan Poe says, nevermore. Quote the Raven. Yeah, maybe a 20-minute speedrun or something. Or if you knew, if you just played the game before and you knew. Okay. So as far as music goes, this is, I do like this music, but it's probably a little distracting, I'm gonna guess. So, I think the last half game we played, I think we played just kind of like some like focus music like this. Nice background stuff. Let me know what you guys think of this. If you like the steampunk we were listening to. If you want like the rain, like a rainstorm, windstorm we've done the ocean waves. It's always interesting with the IF games. Was the previous IF game Hitchhikers? Let's see. You might be right. Yeah, I feel like it has been a while, hasn't it? Last IF game, yeah, it was Hitchhikers. Game 125. Okay, not as long as I thought. Well, that was March, so yeah, it was like you're talking almost 5 months ago. We had back-to-back with Anchorhead and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then, like, not too long before that, prior to that was Zork 3. Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, Hitchhikers was immediately after Anchorhead. I mean, we might even have back-to-back if Varicella wins the next. Varicella has a shot to win the next showdown, so we could have back-to-back IF again. We'll see what happens. Alright, let's see here. This seems odd. Okay. There we go. Oh, I need to get chat in here too, don't I? Just laying out my windows here. Put chat there. Notes here. Alright, we'll try this layout, see how it goes. Probably don't need that. Okay. Ribby? Or no, Ribby? Not familiar with that. Yeah, we have had a lot of Sierra games recently, haven't we? Alright, anyway, let's get underway here with game 143, Slouching Towards Bedlam. Clunk! The rotating tin cylinder within the phonograph vibrates slightly as a brass needle scrapes against it. The sound of a throat being cleared emerges from the machine's horn-shell speaker, followed by a thin, haunting voice. March the 16th. A deep, shaky breath. I dread to say it, but I believe I am going mad. The moments come more frequently now. I fear that I have found what I have sought, and I shall now pay the price for it. The scrape of a chair against flagstone. A sigh. Chaos treads the halls of Bedlam. Her work is evident everywhere. Slouching Towards Bedlam. An entry in the 9th Annual Interactive Fiction Competition. Copyright 2003 by Star C. Foster and Daniel Ravipinto. First-time players should type "about." Credits are available via credits. Release 1, serial number 030925, Inform, version 6.21, library 6 out of 10. Yeah, I would guess that too, Zella, indeed. Alright, office. Oh, that's our first location here. A massive cedar desk, well polished and worn, looks elegantly out of place among the chaos. Papers, files, and books cover nearly every flat surface in the room. There is a phonograph on the table near the window. A black cube on wheels sits near the door to the south. Alright, so already we have a door to the south. We want to type "about," right? For the first-time players. So let's cap this. There we go. A few brief notes. Regardless of how the game responds to them, all meta commands, save, restore, restart, undo, quit, works as you would expect them to. Conversation is best handled by the following syntax. Ask person about topic, tell person about topic, person, order. Okay. Note that it is advantageous to ask about the same topic multiple times. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Hints and spoilers are available via the hint command. Nico, Materian, others who know the game. Yeah, let me know if we need to use hints. Let me know whether the in-game system would work well, or if you guys feel like you'd be positioned to provide them. Slouching Towards Bedlam contains multiple endings. You may wish to go back and try different actions or attempting to reach different goals to see how your actions affect the story. The authors can be reached at bedlam@peckable.com and would be very happy to read your comments, questions, or bug reports. Peckable. Yeah, I probably wouldn't reread everything. I wouldn't reread like the same description. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Alright, so what did we have here? A phonograph, and then there was a cube, I think? Let's look at the phonograph. And there was a desk. Let's start with the desk. I only understood the desire to look. Oh, do we have to look at desk? Yes. A deep green blotter, dotted with black ink stains, sits at the center of the desk, mostly covered by files and papers. One side of the blotter seems slightly higher than the other. Oh, so there's something under the blotter. The corner of a sandalwood box is visible beneath a stack of thick folders. The desk contains a large central drawer which is currently closed. The phonograph continues to play. Oh, we probably should save the game too. I discredit my profession, examining madness as if the world were a fluent thing, and sanity as malleable as the warm wax of a candle. Mr. Viking! Thanks so much. 12 months! 1 year of support from Mr. Viking. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Viking. That gives you your 1 year subiversary viewer pick. You can make a new viewer pick, Mr. Viking. Maybe at the next buying session you'll let us know what you want added. Thank you so much, Mr. Viking. Alright, so can we look, let's see, look under blotter? Beneath the blotter is a small key, easily taken. It carries a small tag labeled 2D. So it could be like a hotel room or something. Oh, I forgot to save again, damn it. The secret lays heavily on both my mind and heart. Is this our character that's speaking or the phonograph? I guess that's the phonograph. Or it could be that thin voice. I have told no one. I despair a second opinion would confirm my worst suspicions. I have secured all my knowledge of these events within the mechanical assistant left by my predecessor. It was my hope that it would allow me to see the situation from a new perspective and help me discover the key to my salvation. Howdy, Dario. Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, you did make a 1 year pick. How? Why did it register as 12 months then? That's odd. It said 12 months. Yeah, yeah, you're right. This is month 13. Oh, weird. Yeah, it allowed you resubbed on July 24th, but now it's saying you also did on August 7th. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, doesn't it? It does. Well, anyway, thanks again. Point, remembering, save, store, save, keep. What? That's weird. Oh, is it like UHS? Oh, that's great artwork. Thank you. So I see. Mr. Viking was probably just maybe he waited a while to do the July one or something. In any event. All right, can we take the key? One cannot take what one already has. Oh. You said easily taken. You said like it's easy for the taking. Now that I actually took it. Alas, it has been to no avail. While I found the entry mode easy enough, and the thing seems filled with information regarding the hospital down to the point of minutia, it seems helpless in the face of analyzing my current situation. Oh, I should also be logging this. What was the log command? Forgetting. Is it just log? And I recognize verb. Maybe that's only Infocom games? I'm trying to remember. I think it might just be a frauds function. To store a log of the Alright, well I think it's doing it automatically, so it's okay, I think. Alright, whatever. Oh, you thought that was a game? Yeah, it is a weird message. That's weird. Alright, so we have a key to 2D, right? Let's make Does the game have, like, inventory as a command? Can you do that? Yes. It's a small key labeled 2D. Okay, good. You can resub after your real sub date passes, but you can delay. Oh, wow, that's annoying. It may be that I've simply not found that by which this growing mystery may be unlocked. Perhaps by subjecting the triage to further experiential data. It may be something that I have missed, but I have little faith left at this point. Alright, I think they said there was a box. Sandalwood box? It is unexceptional, perhaps 1 handbreadth wide by 3 long. On its lid is a white paper label. Written upon it in fine copper plate are the words Journal Version 4, or V.4, January through April 1855. The sound of a chair creaking. I have found a blessing in James. He has been nothing but kind and helpful in my short time here. I find myself wondering if, perhaps, he can be trusted enough to... But how can I punish him with this knowledge? A sigh. But how can I bear it alone? It would be helpful if we know what our own character's name was. Like, are we James? Are we... I don't know. Who am I? I don't know. Alright, can we open the box? The sandalwood box opens, revealing a tin cylinder labeled January 8th, a tin cylinder labeled January 22nd, and a tin cylinder labeled March 2nd. A sudden noise, as if something wooden being struck, comes through the phonograph. No, I can trust no one in the end, not even James. Perhaps soon, not even myself. Curious and curiouser? Alright, let's just I want to make a list here, helpful to see. So we have key, 2D. Then we have dates, right? January 8th, January 22nd, and March 2nd. This could be 1855 because the box was labeled that, I guess. Can we take the cylinders? Tin cylinder labeled 8th. Okay, we took 3 of them. Oh, there's also a March 16th phonograph. The phonograph switches off. The ivory arms slide easily apart and the cylinder leaves the phonograph with a slight click. So, was that March 16th cylinder in the phonograph, I guess? So we may not have heard the rest of that recording that we needed to hear. Robert Paulson. Can we examine the cylinders? Multiple address cannot be used with that verb. Maybe each of them are a recording that you can put in the phonograph? Small labeled tin cylinder, approximately a hand's breadth wide. Its surface is inscribed with a fine groove, which winds down its entire length. Okay, put March 16 cylinder in phonograph, or on phonograph, I guess. It fits perfectly in the waiting ivory arms. Okay, turn on phonograph. March the 16th. Yeah, okay. So maybe this makes more, you know what? This probably makes more sense if we listen to these chronologically. So let's turn off the phonograph. Take March 16th cylinder. Put January, or can we just say Jan 8 cylinder on phonograph. Ah, okay. Thank you, Nico. No such thing can be seen. Which is that referring to? Oh, really? They want me to spell it January 8th. Okay, now turn on the phonograph. January the 8th. I am uncertain if this entry is made in joy or sorrow. I have just received word from Dr. Yates that I am to be promoted. I am uncertain if that term is the correct one. In any case, it seems that there has been an incident with Bethlehem's current superintendent, and a replacement is required. I have been chosen for the position, at least in the short term. So yeah, we do know that this is the Bedlam refers to Bedlam Hospital. So it seems like this guy, who, yeah, let's find out who we are, but he's getting promoted at Bedlam Hospital. Or maybe he's leaving Bedlam to go to Bethlehem. Bethlehem could be a different hospital. That's rather difficult without a mirror. Oh, okay, so we can't look at ourselves. It is fairly obviously what has prompted this move. I have moved too far, too fast, and in doing so have displeased the powers that be. While Yates has supported my unorthodox theories well enough, he has warned me often that he cannot shield me from all of the backlash that may occur. I do not believe that his using this as a segue way to telling me of my transfer was entirely unconnected. Okay. Yeats. Really? Well, if it didn't have the second E, it would just be Yates, I would think. Actually, the second E, which is throwing me. Yeah, isn't the poet pronounced Yates? W-B Yates. I didn't think it was Yeats. Alright, in any event. So we want to continue listening to this phonograph. I think there was... Can we open the desk drawer? I remember that was a thing. I understood the desire to open the cedar desk. I just put open drawer. The large central drawer opens, revealing a manual and a flanged brass rod. Is it an inanimate carbon rod? No, it's a flanged brass rod. Bedlam seems both purgatory and paradise at this moment. I remember the history of this place well enough. Of the governor's decision to renovate the site in 15, and the slow implementation of Urquhart and Bentham's now infamous Panopticon plan? In the end, it was nothing more than a final stab at respectability for the site, which has now languished as a home for the hopeless, the poor, and the criminally insane for almost 20 years. It's occurring to me, by the way, we should probably, if we're going to be talking to characters and asking them about things, we should probably have like a good topics list to go from. So I would say we have Bedlam. Oops. So this could be like both places and like things and people. Bethlehem. We're gonna learn more. We have Dr. Yates, whatever. Urquhart, Bentham, Panopticon plan. So basically any proper noun we should make note of. Just going back to see Bethlehem's current superintendent. Okay. All right, let's look at the manual. Oh, Triage Personal Analytical Engine Operator's Manual Mach 3. Next subject, previous, return read subject. The manual has several headings. Cover, the future is now, a brief catalog, analysis mode, and optional expanded input mode. Okay, we also have to find out what triage is. Is it like triaging like injuries? I guess we'll see. Look at the cover. Emblazoned on the front is a charcoal drawing of a black box on wheels. Isn't that a black cube on wheels in the room? Beneath which is written the words, Operator's Manual, Triage Personal Analytical Engine, Professional Industrial Mark III. The future is now. One glance at the triage line of personal analytical engines will show them to be the finest now available. Each one is made of the materials of superlative quality. Its thousands of interlocking parts are handmade and hand-assembled. From its alphanumeric kinograph display to its specially designed internal power and propulsion systems, the triage is simply the most advanced technology made available to professionals for the portable storage and analysis of complex information. Excuse me. In fact, the triage is so incomparably the best machine made that all we ask an intending purchaser is to compare it with any other before buying. Okay, so it stores and analyzes complex information. For sale by all first-class mechanics shops. A brief catalog of the triage both within and without. Panoptical scanner. Set within an attractive faux emerald, Triage's latest version has updated both its scanning technology and methods such that it can visually analyze a given subject and begin processing within seconds. Increased capacity of both mill and store. The Triage line is now capable of analyzing, compiling, and storing literally thousands of pieces of information simultaneously. What is this, a computer database in 1885? Latest core engine with 4-fold increase in efficiency. Triage has always been famous for its relational algorithms and its capability in connecting seemingly disparate data into a coherent whole. Our latest edition strives ever closer to perfection, improving the system's already impressive functionality. Smooth operating, fully alphanumeric kinograph display. With its compact yet expansive 16:8 symbol display, each one capable of displaying any one of 36 characters, the Triage speaks as well as it listens. Analysis mode is the Triage's default and most important mode of operation. Once activated by simply pressing its beautiful faux emerald scanner, the system will run through its initializing phase and then notify the user that it is ready to begin. The Triage will then follow its identified operator of its own accord, utilizing pathfinding and obstacle avoidance algorithms of the latest design. The system is constantly aware of both its personal environment and the actions of its operator. What is this, like a Roomba? Pathfinding and obstacle avoidance? Once Triage has locked onto its user, operation is simply a matter of making the system aware of particular subjects in the environment for analysis and storage. This can be accomplished by simply pointing or gesturing to the object in question. Oh, that's cool. Nothing more is necessary. The system will reply via its kinograph display of any pertinent data the operator might find of use. Triage store data is organized as follows. Cat category. Triage maintains a strict hierarchy within which all subjects are stored. Is the object in question alive? Is it a tool? Is it not yet recognized? Utility. Of what immediate use is the object in question? How may it be interacted with? Particulars. Specific information on the object, completed analysis data is often stored here. Apparently, BDR, apparently. There's also an optional expanded input mode, which can be utilized to directly enter information into the Triage's database store. Such data manipulation is not to be taken lightly, as all Triage data must be kept as consistent as possible to prevent internal errors. However, advanced users may find it convenient to input information into the system immediately, rather than allowing the system to accrue it via an examination and analysis. Expanded input mode requires the optional data input system, which is not sold with the basic Triage. Contact your local mechanist to special order yours today. Okay, so that's the manual. We're back here. The office. Phonograph and black cube. Probably should note that, by the way. But the technology. Yates told me of a visit he took in the 30s, when the place was still open as part zoo, part living drama. I paid little attention to his description of the patient's conditions, and instead seized upon the description of the central tower and its prism viewer, by which the entire complex could be overseen by a single man, the massive archives with their engine-run filing system. Now I shall see it with my own eyes, and I am both happy and sad at the thought. Okay. I guess can we take the manual with us, or did we already take it? Taken. I have but a fortnight to prepare for the move. It has been made clear to me that this is a test. I must prove myself good, quiet, and respectable in the eyes of the governors. Oh yeah, so those are like the board of governors. With luck, I shall be back at Bedfordshire within half a year's time, ready to take over when the good doctor announces his retirement. I'm guessing that's Dr. Yates. Okay. What else was in the drawer? There was something else in the drawer. Oh right, the brass rod. Perhaps this will not be so bad. In the public eye, I shall play their game, and meanwhile, I shall continue my own research, utilizing whatever materials Bedlam has to offer. A short rod of brass with a flange on one end, engraved with a 6, and a series of tines at the other perpendicular to the shaft. Having reached the end of the cylinder, the phonograph shuts itself off with a tiny click. Alright, let's take the rod. Let's take January, was it 8th? Okay. So we next need to put on January 22nd. They really want me to spell out 22nd. January the 22nd. Arrived in London today in preparation for taking over my duties. The cab driver took what seemed a scenic route through Smithfield, then generally southward towards Newgate. I covered my nose as best I could as we passed through the slaughterhouse that was the market, though I noted a mechanist shop, Du Monde, on Fleet, which I will try to visit at my earliest convenience as my worst fears regarding the wireless have been confirmed. Okay, that seems like a place we might want to visit. Du Monde. Mechanist shop. Okay. Let's take the rod. This is hard to like simultaneously listen to these recordings while doing other stuff. Hey, Gaming Contrarian. One not con- Oh, I have the rod? Alright. It probably says something profound about me that I set up the magnetophone first, while everything else remains boxed, or is still on its way from Bedfordshire. As I feared, I found no signal whatsoever. A simple message of calling CQ went completely unanswered, which is unheard of, as there is always someone listening, particularly in such a city as London. I fear the buildings are blocking the signal, and I'll require a booster of some sort. He's like boosting the signal of the magnetophone? It's almost like we have to pick up where he left off or something, I don't know. Alright, so we've looked at the desk. We probably should look at the papers, actually. Probably nothing important, but they appear to be of little consequence, okay? I understood the driver's choice of route when we approached the prison from the north. A huge crowd was Oh, so Bedlam is a hospital, but Bethlehem could be a prison. A huge crowd was gathered for the public executions, and thus the box art here. I asked him about the particular individual sentenced to the gallows as we passed, and he proceeded to tell me, at great length and with much relish, of the trial of one Mr. Emmanuel Barthélemy. I wondered if today was something special, or if the spectacle of death always attracts such crowds. Emmanuel Barthélemy. Okay, I think there were also some folders. Okay, those are also little consequence. I heard a cheer go up from the top of the hill as we pulled to a stop in front of the flat. I shall not take this as an omen of any sort. Oh, meaning probably Barthélemy was hung or hanged. Not a box, but a cube. There is no hinge. A fine grid is engraved on its top, dividing it into a myriad of tiny squares. The cube sits on 4 black rubber wheels, attached by a set of brass leggings that seem capable of telescoping downward. The only other feature of note is a small emerald set in its side, beneath which is a plaque with the inscription Triage Mark III. I have seen if the place is modest, but I am not at all surprised considering what I am paying for it. I intend to spend as little time here as possible after all. Bedlam awaits me in the morning. Okay, let's get another save in here. Store, save, keep. Yeah, starting out is interesting. Seems like the tech is... Well, I guess it's an alternative history of London, not the real London. Alright, can we turn on the cube? From within the device comes a sharp clunk. Remember a clunk started off the game? Followed by a gentle humming. The emerald blinks slowly. Once, twice, then glows steadily. The grid of squares which makes up the thing's screen pivot back and forth, seemingly at random, causing ripples of motion across its surface. With a sudden purpose, they begin to flip, revealing hundreds of tiny symbols engraved on their surfaces. Squares continue for a moment, then begin to settle line by line like a fall of rain into a pattern. Was it like a dot mate, like pixels? Is that what they are? Initiate cycle computer mill unit online store decrypt / compress boot stack. Okay, comp op system operating system unit version 3. Isn't the manual we have for version 4? Register Dr. Simon Brand. Set mode analyze. Okay, maybe are we Simon Brand, perhaps? Set mode analyze. A final note. It seems I left the majority of my unused cylinders at Bedfordshire. I shall have to write Yates and ask that he send them down, or perhaps seek out where I may purchase them locally. In the meantime, I shall refrain from making a phonograph entry until something truly momentous happens. Okay. So we have to, let's read the manual again to refer to how do we actually use this thing. Forgotten the actual mechanics of it. Analysis mode. We have to press the scanner. Or maybe we already did that, I guess. It says it's going to follow us. Make the system aware of particular... Okay, so we have to point or gesture. Got it. Alright, should we write this down, or... Yeah, I think I'm going to, actually. Point or gesture. And then there's cat utility particulars. Okay, and then there's the input mode. How do we get to that again? Oh, they don't really say. Okay, and the phonograph ended. Point to phonograph. Machine analyzes the phonograph before replying. Category non-living. Tool. Utility recording and playback of audio. It's kind of like a telegraph, like stop, stop. Info part personal. Property of operator used for diary entry retrieval. Yeah, that's what's going on. Can we point at ourselves so we can find out who we are? Yeah, the emerald flickers from head to toe before returning. Category living. Catastrophic error A042. Category index out of range. Stack overflow. Part ID Dr. Thomas Xavier. Current operator. Oh, at least we know what our name is. That's helpful. We know who we are. That's a win. Definitely worthy of a couple of Cedrics, I would think. Alright, let's point to the rod, actually. Actually, well, while this is going on, let's, 22nd cylinder. And then what's the next date? March 2nd. Okay, turn on phonograph. March the 2nd. It seems the fates have listened closely and decided to give me a momentous occasion as quickly as possible. I am beside myself. Bedlam seems nothing more than a pit in which Her Majesty may place those she wishes to forget about. Such corruption dwarfs the imagination. So this is like, yes, it's a prison hospital or something? Is Bedlam just the nickname for Bethlehem, or I don't know. Or maybe it's Bedlam Hospital in Bethlehem? Is Bethlehem a part of London? Am I not? Maybe I just don't. I'm not familiar enough with London. Maybe it's like a neighborhood? In any event, let's point at the rod. A small beam of green light flashes out over the flanged brass rod as Triage's screen lights up. Category non-living. Tool utility. Key. Unlock device. Oh, it's a key. Interesting. Part ID. Panopticon key corridor 6 upper. Place in Panopticon stand to activate / access. Oh, okay, that's helpful. So the brass rod key opens corridor 6 in Panopticon. Yeah, it could be bomb burst. I don't know why, but they referred. He seems to be referring to both Bedlam and to Bethlehem, so that's why I'm kind of a little unclear. Place in Panopticon. I don't even know what Panopticon is, but we'll find out. Perhaps I overstate the case, but it was the simple ease with which the constable approached me that most horrified me. If such things as this happen as a matter of course, then the place has truly been in the hands of the mad for some time. What about our actual key for 2D? Triage's beam flickers over the small key label 2D briefly, then displays category unknown, unlisted. Utility is not applicable. Part none. Item is not recognized by our current system. Storage or store require additional information. Couldn't we add stuff to this? To the database? I suppose I should have seen such things coming. The Insane Prisoners Act passed in 40 was vague enough that it could be used as a political tool, and McNaughton's trial made it clear that the courts would do so when forced, but at least such things happened in the public eye. Alright, so we have a McNaughton. Can we... so category, utility, and partner no longer looks like it's part of the command. I thought those were going to be commands we would have to use, but it just looks like it's part of the response from triage. Alright, point at January 8th cylinder. Triage's Emerald searches the tin cylinder level January 8th then. Category non-living, tool, utility, recording medium for correctly outfitted phonograph, part recorded audio, diary, entry equals play in phonograph. So basically it just tells you what to do. My predecessor clearly had some arrangement with the Bobbies regarding cases such as these. James told me that he met often with the constable, though he was not privy as to the content of these meetings. Okay, so there's a James. Well, although we knew that, we just don't know who the James is. It's definitely not us now, we've confirmed that. And are these my recordings or someone else's? We don't know that either. Can we have Triage look at itself? Oh wait, no, I just looked at it, damn it. Simply put, I was asked to make the prisoner in their charge disappear, and told that I would be well compensated for keeping things quiet. Part of me wishes I had put up more of a fight, had made an issue, or... Triage's beam flickers over Triage briefly, then displays category Triage, analytical engine, utility, examination and analysis of objects and data. Part Triage Mach 3 unit, current operator, yep, Thomas Xavier. What choice have I? It has been made clear to me that keeping things quiet is precisely what is expected of me in my time in Bedlam. Okay. Alright, should we point at the desk? Why not? Analyst examines the seated desk, returning with category unknown, enlisted, utility not applicable, part none, item is not recognized. Okay. I have placed Cleve, whose preternatural silence, even as he struggled in his bonds, gave the entire proceedings a sheen of unreality, in the abandoned upper level of the northern wing, keeping the key separate from the rest. Oh, that could be the brass rod, corridor 6. James showed it to me on my arrival and stated that while it still remained secure, only a few of the rooms were to be considered usable. Okay. Alright, what else is here? We still need to listen to one more phonograph after this, so... There are books. Triage sits near the door to the south. Still, perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. I have complete singular access to an interesting patient. Perhaps this is the opportunity my studies have been waiting for. So is that patient Cleve? I guess so. So I wonder if Triage follows us. It might. Manual. Okay, so we finished that one. Take March 6th cylinder. Whoops. Damn it. What was the date? March 2nd. Alright, so we've actually heard this before, but now if it's in more of a narrative context, it might make more sense what he says. Probably don't need to worry about the books, but they appear to be of little consequence. Okay. I dread to say it, but I believe I'm going mad. The moments come more frequently now. I fear that I have found what I have sought, and I shall now pay the price for it. Scrape of a chair against flagstone. Chaos treads the halls of Bedlam. Her work is evident everywhere. I really hope this is not supernatural, by the way. I hope it's not. Okay, so I just looked at a different cylinder. There's no difference in the description. I discredit my profession, examining madness as if the world were a fluent thing, insanity as malleable as the warm wax of a candle. Alright, I guess there's nothing really much. Gesture is probably just the simile for point, right? Yeah. Okay. Secrets lays heavily on both my mind and heart. I have told no one. I despair a second opinion would confirm my worst suspicions. I have secured all my knowledge of these events within the mechanical assistant left by my predecessor. So that's the phonograph machine. It was my hope that it would allow me to see the situation from a new perspective and help me discover the key to my salvation. Okay, so... non-living manual holds useful instructions. Recognized as triage manual to learn how best to operate. Alas, it has been to no avail. While I found the entry mode easy enough, and the thing seems filled with information regarding the hospital down to the point of minutia. It seems helpless in the face of it. Oh, he's actually referring to triage. Got it. So we have to see, how do we, what was the other mode? The optional expanded input? So we can enter information. Oh, so we have to order. So we may have to order that. Or buy that or something. Alright, order. Optional data input system for triage. Contact your local mechanists. Okay. Oops. Ah, and then that's probably the Dumont store, I would think. It may be that I have simply not found that by which this growing mystery may be unlocked. Perhaps by subjecting the triage to further experiential data, I may find something I've missed, but I have little faith left at this point. Can we take triage with us? Triage is much too heavy to move about in such a manner. The sound of a chair creaking. I found a blessing in James. He has been nothing but kind and helpful in my short time here. I find myself wondering if perhaps he can be trusted enough to... But how can I punish him with this knowledge? But how can I bear it alone? Okay, got it. I'm looking forward to getting out of this room, but... Something wooden being struck comes through the phonograph. Yeah, the sandalwood box. No, I can trust no one in the end. Not even James. Perhaps soon, not even myself. So he's like going mad. Deep green blotter. Files and papers. Drawer is empty. I must stop here. I feel the faintness coming once again. May God have mercy upon my soul. Okay, right. We never saw the end of that. Okay, we can take the sandalwood box. Having reached the end of the cylinder, the phonograph shuts itself off. Okay, so take March 16th. Alright, so I think we finally have all the items in this room. Our cylinder's done. Alright, so can we finally go south? Yes, it's the lobby. walls, whoops, lavy. The walls and floor are clinical white tile and marble. Alright, see you later, Materian. Oh, good luck with the interview. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. The walls and floor are clinical white tile and marble. However, the dim lights set above this echoing space hiss and pop fitfully, giving the small maze of desks and workspaces within a tarnished, decaying look. A set of solid gates lie opened and unlocked to the east and west. A small corridor runs northward, and from the south, the bright light of day is visible through a set of glass doors. Rufus. Behind the most prominent desk sits a nervous young man. The young man looks up, and the corners of his mouth lift into a smile that is not quite strong enough to reach his eyes. Doctor, are you... Cold. Yes, the cold is familiar. Reach, grab, feel, possibility, probability? What? Yeah, I might have to go get Rufus. The echo of an echo. The reflection of words from here to the far wall of reality and back. All right, you had us all. Action, positive, affirmative. Destroying friction, breaking growth. Positive, yes. So is this like our mental calculus? Do you mean? The dim lighting glinting off the small badge he wears. James, assistant. Oh, good. Okay, my wife got him. Living, growth, friction, further spreading, outward, stretching, yes, to touching, yes. Bethlehem, hospital. So it seems like, I don't know, they're the lead doctors, keep on getting replaced or something, and we're the latest in the line. We don't know the name of the doctor whose recordings we were listening to. Or maybe those were our own recordings. And we're going mad or something, I don't know. All right then, sir. And then he is nodding and returning to his seat, somehow both more and less nervous. Yes, done, yes. Huh, okay. Did, what's-his-face come with us, triage? No. James is easily no more than 20, with an unruly mop of black hair that continually gets in his eyes. The badge, set high near his collar, reads, James Houlihan, Assistant, Bethlehem Hospital. Okay, so now we know James's last name. Can we ask him about himself? I am James, sir, your assistant. Perhaps you had better sit down. I don't think you've quite recovered. Can we ask James about me? Well, it's certainly been a pleasure working with you, sir. Interesting. Does he know about Cleve? Already in the grave, I believe, sir. I know nothing else about him. I've not looked at any of his files, per your instructions. James stands and stretches his legs for a moment before resuming his seat. All right, James, tell us all the things. We don't know what's going on. It's seen better days, certainly, sir, but I must say that I was certainly proud when I was offered this position. Hey, Kappa. BDR. So what's Bethlehem, then? We've certainly had more affluent guests in the past. Sometimes it feels as though the governors have forgotten about us altogether. Okay, what is Bethlehem? James searches under his desk a moment for a lost pen. That's rather outside my bailiwick, sir. Okay. Urquhart? I don't know, sir. I don't know. Bentham? I'm afraid I can't help you there. James carefully fills out a set of forms, then files them. Panopticon. Is it acting up again, sir? I'm sorry. We haven't been keeping up regular maintenance, what with the budget constraints. James bites his lower lip as he stamps out a set of forms. Okay, so it's a machinery? Panopticon plan? Okay, he doesn't know about that. Governors. I don't feel as though I'm qualified to answer that question, sir. Licks his lip nervously. He was a favorite tool of Dr. Brand. He would lock himself in his office and enter data into it for hours. Dr. Brand, eh? Simon Brand. Was that the guy who was recording?
He took his own life. I fear the pressures of this place had gotten the better of him. He spent every waking moment here, on his patience, this place. We must be vigilant, sir. So easy to get lost here. Okay, so I think that was the guy that recorded, our predecessor who recorded those phonographs. Brand name only doctors. Let's ask him about ourselves. If you don't mind me saying so, I think perhaps you've been overexerting yourself as of late. I worry, sir. Okay, what about Emmanuel Bartholomew? I don't like to judge the patients, Doctor. That's in God's hands. But he was a cold man, if you ask me. A cold, empty man. Of the infamous McNaughton rule? He was a bit before my time, sir. Really? What can you tell us about this McNaughton rule? Okay, he doesn't know. Okay, have we asked about everything? Oh no, Dumont. Doesn't know about that. Okay. Good enough. Thank you, James. You're dismissed. Actually, let's ask you about the lobby. Look desk. Or, sorry, look. Hex desk. Abandoned desk or James's? Alright. It is covered in neat stacks of forms that James moves in an unfathomable pattern, stamping some, filing others, and occasionally dropping one to the floor. Okay. Abandoned desks. Have no use, they contain nothing but dust. Okay, triage is here. Alright, so triage is following us. That's great. Very nice. There are gates, the east and west, northward, and then outside. Okay. Point at James. Living human male. Communication possible by speech or written. ID James Houlihan, position assistant at Bethlehem. So what the fuck? Maybe Bedlam's just a nickname they give Bethlehem. Maybe Bethlehem's the official name of the hospital, but they nickname it Bedlam because it is Bedlam? I don't know. Okay, it doesn't know. Alright, so let's just try going west. To the walkway. The slight wind whistles tunelessly against this mesh of steel, which arcs from one massive open gate to another. The roof curves far overhead, enclosing both the block-like building to the east and the narrow tower to the west. Far below, an intricate set of sub-buildings can be seen enclosed within the complex's outer wall. Triage silently rolls to a stop. With Jin May, Joseph. Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's right. They said to ask about stuff multiple times. Shoot, we might want to go back to what's his name? Is this a real, or was it based on a real place? Is anyone here a Londoner perchance, or even from England or the UK? So is it like a neighborhood of London, or was it like an infamous hospital, or? Any questions? So we should ask James about Bedlam. It was Britain's first insane asylum. Oh, here's Tina. Yeah, it seems unfamiliar. Okay, so you don't know about it, but BDR it says it's its first insane asylum. Got it. Gets me down sometimes, but I think of all the good we do, sir, and all the good we have yet to do. What's the again? I think G. I can't think of anything more to say, sir. Okay. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, sir. He was a good man, an excellent doctor, regardless of what happened in the end. Bethlehem Royal Hospital. Okay, and was its nickname Bedlam then? So that's like an official, like a real nickname it had. You do not mind, I prefer not to discuss it. It is still too recent. He shrugs and says no more. Okay. There's not much to say, sir. I haven't been here long. I was only here a year when your predecessor, when he left us, sir. Okay, so he did commit suicide. And that was, okay. And we're probably gonna follow in his path unless we figure this shit out. And I said, sir, there's not much to say about me. Okay. Ask James about... He didn't know Yates, did he? Panopticon, though he knows about that. You aren't trying to activate it with your key to your flat again, are you, sir? And you pushed the button for the cell you wanted? Okay, so... Is that just like the mechanism which opens the doors? Bedlam Royal Hospital, known as St. Mary, Bethlehem. Okay, it is known as Bedlam. Psychiatric hospital in London. Famous history has inspired several horror books. Oh, okay. 1946 movie with Boris Karloff. Cool. Thank you, Emerson. Okay, that's helpful. Oh, sorry, you got timed out, Cav. Yeah, it's just a link thing. Alright, so that buyers are open. I'm actually just going to take a quick break to say hello to my wife. So I'll, buyers are open. We'll just pause for a few minutes and we'll, buyers are open and I'll be right back.
Name is Mike Mancero. I'm your partner. You're new to homicide, right? It's not all glamour, let me tell you. Some days you're gonna wish you'd never seen this place. But on other days, when you've just taken some killer off the street and put him behind bars, makes it all seem worthwhile. Anyways, glad to have you on board. Hang on a second. Inspector Mancero. Right away. They just pulled the body out of the bay at Pier 91. I can't come with you because I gotta testify in court in an hour, and if I don't show this time, Judge Murno is gonna throw the book at me. Looks like you just got your first case. Pier 91's over at India Basin. Take a look at your map. Well, let's go. Get on it. Hey, good luck.
He was a real character. A very sociable guy, and a good customer. Of course, Charlie did have a few enemies, but I didn't think any of them were murderers.
Do you think that he was dead before he got pushed in the water? Man, I hope so, because, you know, if it was me, I sure wouldn't want to know what the hell was going on.
I heard someone named Rice owed Tony some money. About $5 grand. Tony was really steamed about it. Funny that he doesn't remember.
You're getting on my nerves, detective.
Father? Oh, boy, you cops will dream up anything to make it look like you're doing your job.
This is Dinotopia, a land unlike any you've seen before. I am Nalin, Assistant Chief Librarian in the Hall of Knowledge. Along with Enid, I maintain the records of 10 million years of Cenarian history.
I wouldn't call what you do maintaining.
Excuse me, Enid. Do you have a problem?
Yes, the scrolls in Poseidus are not on the shelves where they belong.
They were being used.
By whom?
By me. I was researching King Ogthar.
Well, your thirst for research is commendable, my friend. But your skills as a librarian are positively prehistoric.
Well, I will see to it that they are put properly away.
All I ask is to keep the system organized. If I see one more stray parchment, I'll tear my hair
Enid,
out.
you don't have any hair.
Lucky for me.
May I continue with our friend here? I was about to tell a story.
Really? Well, I hope you have nothing to do for a moon or two.
Don't listen to him. He always does this to me. I thought our guest would like to hear the story of Nathan and Constance.
Oh, Nathan and Constance. Yes, that's a good one. Then go about your business. Don't let me interrupt.
Now, let's see. Well, it all began a few years ago. Nathan Drake was 17 years old. He and his twin sister, Constance, lost their parents in a tragic expedition to the Australian outback. They now sailed for America to start a new life with relatives in Boston. The voyage was miserable. Constance and Nathan were trapped on deck when the storm rose from nowhere. Rain struck the ship like a broadside. Wind tore her sails, and thunder pounded fear into the hardened crew. Nathan fought as the sea reached up to steal his sister. In a terrible tug of war, he held tight to her hand until a wave tore them apart and Constance was gone. Shouting into the wind, Nathan grabbed a scrap of wood and dove overboard. He swam and swam. Constance was sometimes only a few yards away, but she never glimpsed him, never even knew her brother was swimming after her. Nathan swam until his muscles surrendered. And as everything went black, he thought he heard angels laughing. What he heard was the chuckle of dolphins bucking him up onto an unknown beach.
All right.
You're a toucan. Good boy.
All right, we have from Ember Scene 3-4, Varicella. 3 guns for Varicella. Gives it 26. Ember Scene bids for Varicella to be back-to-back IF names. Yeah, Rufus is here. Good buddy.
Good boy.
Okay. Hey, Shikai. Let's resume, shall we? I know, Rufus. We've only been to 3 rooms. We gotta pick up the pace here, don't we? All right. We were acting. Yeah. We were asking James about the panopticon, right? Panopticon. Never did like that form of observation, sir. Feels a bit like spying, looking at them when they can't look at you. Besides, it was designed with prisons in mind. This is a place of healing. So it's like some sort of a security monitoring system? Interesting. He shakes his head as he goes back to work. At least it's meant to be. Oh, Rufus is actually not destructive at all. Yeah, he does not get anything over with his tail, believe it or not. It's very, Very voluminous in hair, but not a problem. Alright, he stares out in space. Okay. Ask about... He didn't say about governors. Oh, shoot. Thank you, Mr. Viking. Yeah, I turned them on when I went to turn them off. Whoops. My bad. Yeah, I was thinking about other stuff, I guess. Yeah, nothing accidentally. Oh, ask James, sorry. Maybe I can just say Bartholomew. Dr. Brand did the best by him he could. A sad case, Doctor. A sad case indeed. He doesn't want to speak about it further. The one which okay, the McNaughton rule is the one which states the standards by which a defendant may be acquitted by reason of insanity. He's like, what? There he is, waving his tail again. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. A man is thinks a moment, then closes his eyes. A man is sane unless the defense proves at the time of committing the act the accused was laboring under such a defective reason from disease of the mind as not to know the nature and quality of the act he was doing, or if he did know it, that he did not know what he was doing was wrong. James opens his eyes and smiles triumphantly. He taps his fingers nervously. Waka waka, Knox. Good puppy. Alright, or I guess just keep an eye on. Please, sir, remembering that entire quote has not quite tired me out. Fair enough, James, fair enough. I must admit, I thought the whole thing a bit odd, but it is your prerogative to treat special cases as you see fit, as did Dr. Brand. Rugson says no more. Alright, did we ask about everything else? Certainly a useful tool, sir, though I'm not certain it was worth the money spent upon it. He grins. I rather wish I had learned to use it myself. I imagine it would help me organize these patient files. Oh, yes. You have files? The system works as it always has, sir. Current patient numbers are stored in the Panopticon, available when you view their cell. Patient files are in the archives, okay? So archives is also a thing. Is the paper tape dispenser of the Panopti empty again, Dr. Xavier? If so, I'll have it restocked as soon as I am able. That might fix the problem. Yes, it's out of order. It was a rhetorical question. Okay. Well, we could tell him to restock it. I'll try, sir, but there's so much to do and only so many hours in a day. Oh, come on, man. Alright, sorry, I meant archive. Or no, files. We're asking about files. It's very efficient, sir, no doubt. And I know you are fond of new technologies, but... well, it's the spider, sir. James shudders. I have a thing about spiders. None too comfortable with the long way down either. What? Spiders? I'm afraid I can't help you there. Interesting. Okay. Alright, let's go back to the walkway. Alright, so I think it's just interim place. Alright, circular chamber. Kinda wanna switch this. Hang on. Just go to a different one. There we go. Alright, the hum of machinery is ever present here, rumbling down into the subsonics. Pale white walls encircle a series of engraved circles on the floor, and at the center, like the pupil of some great eye, sits a round console which reaches all the way up to the ceiling. The room's single exit lies to the east.
Trias trundles patiently along beside. Yeah, Trisbort. Yep, that's right, Bagel. Trisbort. Alright. Non-living panoptic. Oh, it's the Panopticon main console. Capable of viewing any cell in hospital with bot visual and audio output and code storage. Oh, okay. Yeah, wow. So this is like definitely advanced tech for 1885. But yeah, again, it's like a alternate reality history or whatever. It is complex, divided into several discrete sections. Set on a panel is a diagram, a blueprint. A small slot for the dispensing of paper tape lies beside it. Set above the diagram is a prism viewer complete with 2 handles. A set of brass listening tubes terminate on either side of the viewer. Panopticon. We found it. Steampunk tech, yes. Alright, can we look at the blueprint? Intricate in its detail, it depicts a series of 24 corridors set about a circular room, like the spokes of a wheel. Wow, that's a lot of corridors. Each corridor opens into 6 rooms, 3 on each side, with one exception. A hall at 3 o'clock instead connects to a building labeled Administration. At the center of the circular room is a keyhole. Beside it is a 2-headed arrow pointing up and down. Beneath the blueprint is a series of buttons, 6 labeled A through F, and one with an inverted triangle from which 6 small lines emerge. None of the buttons is currently depressed. The administration building and its connecting corridor are lit up from beneath. I mean, I'm guessing we're in the administration corridor? As is the upward head of the 2-headed arrow. I'm having trouble visualizing all of this, but we should... I think we should make note of a few things here, just so we know how this thing does. All right. We have 24 corridors. Each 6 rooms, and then there's each corridor has 6 rooms. Hall to administration. And the center is a keyhole. Keyhole with 2-headed arrow. Thanks, Bomber. Yeah, very intricate mapping so far. Alright, Rufus is being impatient. I'm gonna have to let him upstairs 1 second. All right, so it's 6 labeled A through F. So that's probably talking about which room or which cell. Oh, well, one for, yeah, A through F, and one with an inverted triangle from which 6 small lines emerge. Okay, so there's actually 7 buttons. So we're gonna need a key, right? 7 buttons. A, B, C, D, E, F, and then triangle, or inverted triangle, 6 lines. It's quite a lot to take in. The upward head of the 2-headed arrow is going up. Okay. Well, we have the key with 2B, right? I think we do. Let's do a save here.
Okay, insert key into keyhole. Key apparently does not fit. The hole seems designed to accept one which is long and flanged. Okay, so the rod. So maybe the rod is for the panopticon as a whole, whereas the key is actually for the cells the cells themselves. The brass rod slip easily into the keyhole. Then of its own accord it begins to turn, first clockwise, then counterclockwise. The floor rumbles for a moment. There's an odd sense of movement. The light beneath the administration, its connecting corridor, goes out. A corridor at 12 o'clock lights up as the key stops moving, as does its northeast room. The button labeled A clicks down and begins to glow. The room seems to have subtly changed. Pain. A cacophony fills the room, a hideous screeching echo. KS random hurt. It continues, emanating from the listening tubes, a metallic repetitive thrum, the sound of an insect grown to the size of a lion. Nonsense, nonsense, random, nonsense, nonsense. Echo on top of echo on top of echo, resounding through the tubes, the room, the halls. A numbness spreads from arm to hand to finger. Stop, no, stop, make. A solid thunk makes itself barely heard above the noise, and then silence. Stop. The button B is now depressed and glowing, the one beside it now dark, as is the eastern room of the lighted corridor. Interesting. We never even got to choose something. Okay. I wanted to push 2B, right? Well, actually, it is glowing now, but the only buttons we had to pick were the A through F, right? On its face is an inverted triangular shape from which 6 lines emerge through on each side. So push B button. The button is already pressed, okay. And the A was pushed initially? So it was 3 o'clock was the administration, but noon, or not noon, 12 o'clock is the B. All right, yeah, I guess we have to figure that out. So we had 3 o'clock was administration, and perhaps was A depressed? I don't think it was. So 12 o'clock. Corridor, an eastern room. B. And then it's also up. Okay. What happens if we push A? Push button A. No! The cold again, and a numbness of the hands, and an inability to resist. From the gurgling sound emanating from it, the listening tube's terminus has momentarily become submerged. It seems like this machine is causing, it's probably what made Simon Brand mad, and it's probably what's doing, harming us too. Weird. An inability. So wait, meaning that he did not push button A? Oh yeah, we should look in the viewer, right? The sound of 3 drips of water falling in quick succession comes floating across the console. Shaped much like a periscope, it contains a mirrored prism manipulated by the handles on either side. The viewer is lit, showing the following scene. A room slowly filling with water, a broken pipe lies at one end, slowly dripping into an ever-growing pool. A stuck and broken door lies on the western side. The sound of dripping water echoes through the room. Okay, so we're still in B. Got it. So we can't even push like button C or anything. The button clicks downward and begins to glow. On the blueprint, the corridor's southeastern room also lights up. I don't know if that's a different time or what. I may want to restore to... Oh no, it is 12 o'clock. So it seems like A through F depends on like the 6 rooms that each quarter has. Or still in only one quarter. 24 quarters, maybe 24 hours in a day. A and PM, I don't know. Clock. Interesting. Okay. Listen to tubes. Nothing unexpected can currently be heard. Each is shaped as a brass pipe which terminates in a horn on either side of the viewers. Panopticon blueprint. Activate via proper key. Choose cell via buttons. Print patient code via triangle. Oh. Push triangle. The button clicks downward, then returns to its original state when released. Nothing more seems to happen for a moment, then a sudden clattering is emitted from the console slot from which emerges a paper tape. A moment or two later, but then both the noise and the tape stop. Easily torn from the console, it reveals the symbols 436182 imprinted on its surface. Okay, we have that. Okay, I don't think we want this though. We want to... What was the key? Well, we want both quarter 6, but there's also our key opens 2D, which I'd like to see. How do we... Proper key. Okay, we have activated via the proper key. Choose cell via the buttons. Push button B. Wait, what was the one? No, D, sorry. Button clicks down and begins to glow in the blueprint southwestern room. Okay. So it's like D is southwest. So C is southeast. B is east. But we're not in 2, right? Maybe we're on 12? Probably. So how do we move the other thing? No such thing can be seen? What? Isn't that how you spell it? Weird. Oh, now the exit lies to the north. Interesting. Okay, so we definitely like moved. Okay. An old room that, while crumbling around the edges, is fairly sturdy and secure. Its dusty floor holds nothing more than a cot and a crumbling chair. A set of gaslight fixtures hangs off the wall, blocked and in disrepair, and a door lies to the northeast. The walls are covered with writing. Oh, can we read the writing? Writing is too small to make out through the prism viewer. Small, well-worn cot, although almost worn through from use. It is so much junk, brittle and old, it is unlikely it could bear any weight whatsoever. Alright, can we go, can we enter it? Let's see. Yeah, we went north to a walkway. Are we going back east to the lobby, or? Oh, straying from the walkway would most likely result in a rather fatal fall. Continue north. Quarter 6. Okay, we did want quarter 6. Were it not for the complex's enclosing walls and ceiling, this hall would most certainly be left at the mercy of the elements. No surface stands unbroken or impeded. The eastern walls sit within a series of labeled doorways. To the northeast lies A, to the east B, southeast C. Western wall is the same. Or the south is Panopticon. Okay, we wanted 6. Why? Didn't we have something? Oh, that was the... Oh, the brass rod opens key. Ah, so only quarter 6. Got it. So, I don't know. There is D, but it's not really 2D. So we might need quarter 2. But quarter 6 was where cleave was, right? I don't think we know which room on this corridor he had, though. Alright, now at least we get the rest of this, so A is northeast. So this is probably the same for all of the corridors, and there are 24 corridors. So there's no north and south, it looks like. Or northwest, for that matter. Oh wait, northwest was F, right? Oh, I wrote this backwards. What am I doing? Okay. Alright, so let's go southwest. And room 6D, an old room, yada yada. Okay, can we read the writing? In the wall's current state, it must not have been too difficult to scratch a message into, but the preciseness of the writing is still impressive. Various phrases are carved. I don't even need to write. What I should do is just like any corridor should. We'll just generally like kind of say this. It was walkway was the central room. We should just like put this down here. And then we'll do like room A and everything. The A was northeast. E was like east. E was southeast. The Panopticon was south. The C was southeast. E was west. D southwest, and then oh wait, F is north. Oops, A is northeast. My bad. There we go. Okay. So that's basically the layout. All right. Various phrases are carved in a generally circular pattern about an intricate set of lines and circles at the center, within which is subscribed junk. Probably some code we have to decode, I don't know. The outer writing reads variously Logos and Sof, Notaricon, and a little child. Makathol Gematria 2693. Shall lead them. Oh. And a little child machine shall lead them. So is this 26 letters? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2. Damn, so 23. I was hoping it would be like a cipher. Then we have these random numbers. Hold on. Can we just do that again? Circular parting line. Oh my god. Really hope we don't have to decode this then. And also this doesn't help with figuring out, like this is in the middle, but this is written wrong on the outside. Good god. So like MKLTH. So the ZXWHT repeats. And then we have WHTFG repeats as well. Or B. Okay, I think it's just generally repeated in the sequence, or not. No, it's not. White. Yeah, it's gotta be something. But... okay. I don't know if this is actually the important room where Cleve was. Let's see if we can find like a generic room. The room beyond the door to the west seems to have collapsed in on itself. The door swings inwards to immediately strike an impenetrable mound of rubble. The door to room 6B seems stuck fast. From behind it can be heard the steady drip of water. Oh right, that was the water room which we heard about. Which is a problem. I hope the whole place doesn't flood. Room 6C, a room whose floor seems in danger of collapse. A hole has started forming in its center. Hey, how's it going, Biscliver? And the edges, thank you for the host. The edges slowly slope in towards it. Its single exit lies to the northwest. The hole is approximately the size of a clenched fist, and beyond only darkness can be seen. The floor surrounding it seems anything but stable. Okay, so the writing is here, and then this one is Thistol, and then this one has the flooding. Enter the hole. The whole area seems perilously close to collapse. Best not to linger. I want to try to get a death. Okay, nothing there. Wait. Nah, alright. Can't get a death. Damn. Oh, so this is actually corridor 6 is what it's called. Okay. No, stop. Dude. The heck? Ah, this is like... I did this too close together. Is that the problem? Oh, why are you drawing there? I don't want to draw it there. There you go. Thank you. Alright, so I couldn't even go to E. I could go here and here. Okay. Let's go back to the writing. Okay, yeah, hopefully you can decode this. Multiple phrases, positioning possibly. Important, 6 separate portions, further analysis required. There's no sooner finished showing this than, with a series of clangs, the letters begin to spin wildly, randomly. The screen fills with a series of scrolling data, clearing the old as quickly as the new appears. Logos and Soph, N-A nothing. Without form, source, Hebrew, Kabbalah, boundless, limitless creator, generative, deity. Second, God equals demiurge, Gnostic. Association found, Trinity, Notaricon, Gematria, Tamura, all Kabbalistic references. Markings at center support possible code or cipher. Yeah, I thought it was a cipher. And a little child, 2693, Gematria. Numerology unknown. System with no vowels. B equals 1 equals 2. And a little child, machine, shall. Machine, Kabbalah reference. Searching, cipherist, enlightenment. As information, data markings, plus Megalith. Cather, Malkuth. Cather equals Saphira / Roth. Cipher. Number of vowels is 20. Yeah, remember there are 20 letters. Symbols equals simple rotation or fold. B equals N equals B. C equals P equals C. ZX WHT MLK TH Malkuth equals Sinkar. Says is so. Finally seeming almost pleased with itself. The machine quiets down, displaying center lettering code cipher. Number of vowels. Malkuth is in Cather as Cather is in Malkuth. Now cipher. Man is in God as God is in man. So that was the... I was misaligned on the keyboard. Hopefully I don't need Malkuth and Cather. I guess we can do Malkuth too. Okay. Alright, well that seems like valuable. Yeah, let's save 60. So this was probably Cleve's room, I'm gonna guess. Look under the bed. Cot holds no use. Move the cot. Sit on chair. Let it break. It's useless. Better to leave it be. Fair enough. Gaslight fixtures blocking disrepair. Okay. So we never tried northeast A. Room 6A. Room that has been stripped almost completely bare. Its only pretense at furniture is a small hard chair thrown off to one side. Its single exit lies to the southwest. Cheer up? Cheer up? What? Okay, look at the chair. It is so much junk. Okay, it doesn't matter. What's this cheer up? Are we problem? Point at triage. Alright, fair enough. The lock and handle on the door to 6F seem broken, making it unopenable. The sound of wind faintly blowing can be heard beyond it, though. Interesting. Alright, so let's make a note of these other ones. I don't know. They're probably not important, but you never know. So this is... broken lock. We can't get there. This one is flooding, so we can't get in there. Actually, I should remove this. That. And then, what was the problem with E? Oh, it's collapsed. Okay, rubble. Alright, whatever. Oh, this should be in the... Yeah, that is in the middle. Weird. Okay. So, it seems like we got some intel. Can I talk or ask? Can I ask triage about Cypher? It can only be done as something animate. Okay, I can't talk to Cypher or triage. Alright. I can't go north. No exit lies in that direction. Alright, okay, so south was the walkway. And then you go south again to the circular chamber. Okay, got it. Alrighty then. So now the question is, point at tubes. Non-living, listening tube, part audio, output of currently selected cell and activated floor, echo possible. Okay. Listen in tube. Listen to tubes. Nothing unexpected can currently be heard. So right now it's pointed to... Oh yeah, we're pointed at 6, whatever. So what if we wanted to see what was beyond F? Push F button. Okay, got it, yep. Look in viewer. A room whose northern wall is completely collapsed, revealing empty space with an outer wall and ceiling visible in the distance. Floors covered with strewn rubble. Okay, so it's basically junk. Faint moan drifts across the console. Listen to moan. No such thing can be seen. What? How do I listen to the tubes? Put ear to tubes. Whatever. Alright. Push, A? No. Right. So for some reason we want to go to A. But A, there was just a chair in there. It didn't seem like a big deal in that room. Okay, look in viewer. A room whose floor seems to be in danger of collapse. Whole started from... Oh, right, we were already in there. Okay, got it. The mirrors in the view room must have shattered, for the views diffracted into 1,000 reflected shards, each one showing gray stone. Huh, okay. Mirror shards. So A is the trouble room for whatever reason. That's where we had problems. Maybe that was where Cleve is now. Cleve is probably in D. Interesting. Alright, so what does the triangle do again? That gives us the tape output? Ah, symbols, right. Do we care about that? We're getting different codes. Push D, push triangle. Hey, it's going Morgan. F6. What is the tape? Let's. Okay. Point at paper tape labeled F6A142. Not applicable. Part none. Item is not. Oh, okay, it doesn't know what to make of that. Good. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we get the codes for all. Those could be important, like 6-digit codes. I guess what I'll do is. That was D, right? I guess I'll write them here. What they. Might as well just store them there. May as well. Okay, we can't push A, but we can push B. Push triangle. Okay, so the original tape that we had, one of these is B. I think that was the 436. So we can't do that again. The gurgling sound emanating from the listening tube's terminus has momentarily become submerged. Oh, right, because there's water in there. Oh, did we already get C as well, or? No, we can't get any more tapes. That sucks. Oh well. Hopefully we have what we need. I don't know. Interesting. All right. Well, can we go back to the east, or are we not? No exit. Okay, we somehow fucked things up. Or I guess we're in corridor 6. We need to find a way to get to another corridor. How did we do that? Oops. Can we move the viewer? No, just look into it. Okay. So maybe we can push the arrow down. Upward head. Yeah, how do we push the arrow? We push. It's fixed in place. A high-pitched whistling can briefly be heard. Oh, that's the wind. Via proper key. Arrow represents upper, lower quarter. Via light. Right. Okay. And I think they did say that Cleve was in the upper quarter, right? So we are in the upper one? We're in the place we want to be, I think. Quarter 6, yeah. We just don't know which of the 6 rooms, but it looks like it was. I do want to get to 2D though. Didn't they say there was one that was? Oh, F was a broken lock. Okay, so the key wouldn't have opened that. Got it. How do we move this thing then? Look in the keyhole, I guess. So the set at the center of the blueprint with a circular room. It currently, all right. Can we remove the rod? As the ride slides from its home, the floor rumbles for a moment. There is an odd sense of movement. All of the lights on the blueprint go out, then the light beneath the administration, its connecting corridor, flickers back to life. The room seems to have subtly changed. Okay. So we either need to get the rods to the other corridors, but probably we don't have to worry about the other. How many were there total? 24. We probably don't need to worry about the other 23. Maybe 1 or 2. Okay, so got it. So we could probably say there is. This goes there. This is actually the panopticon. And this was a walkway. Not that it matters that much, but just so we're accurate. Okay. Now we're to the east. Okay, we never went east of the lobby, so we should definitely check that out. Archives, okay. Should do another save. This room is mostly empty space. The farthest wall is lined with gleaming brass pull file drawers and seems to go on infinitely in every direction. The entrance to the west opens onto a solid dusty platform, which allows visitors to stand suspended above the unseen floor. Weird. At the end of the platform lies a pedestal topped with a small inverted onyx pyramid. Triage immediately appears. Okay, archives. Matte black and smooth, it is securely anchored to the pedestal at its inverted apex. It is shaped like a pulpit. On its flat surface is a small panel, and delicately balanced at its top is an inverted black pyramid. The platform is surrounded on three sides by a low metal railing, the better to prevent an unfortunate drop into the vacuum below. Footprints mark and remark the dust, forming a trail from the lobby to the pedestal and back. Thank you, appreciate it, PR. I'll try my best. No such guarantees, though. Okay, archive files, hospital patient records filed by code number, current codes available via Panoptica. Oh, those were the 6 digits. Gotcha. Okay. Those are what those are. Okay, that's cool. Archive interface, file number input via dial, output via paper tape display, pyramid equals retrieval unit. Okay. Physical file retrieval unit, activated upon input of file number, code via dial. Okay. Flatback surface contains a dial and a small glass display. The dial seems capable of being set to any number between 1 and 9, as well as the letters A through F. It currently rests at 1. Small sheet of glass, beneath which runs a paper tape which disappears into the bowels of the mechanism. The glass is cut in such a way as to magnify the tape beneath it. The tape is currently imprinted with retrieval complete. Alright. So can we set dial to 4361A2? Well, actually, I probably want the D1, F6A142. That's probably cleave. Does not appear to be a valid value. Really? Did I write it down wrong? Oh, it's in our inventory. F6A142. 1 through 9 and A through F. Yeah, what the hell? Maybe I have to cap it. Turn dial? No. How about 4361A2? What the fuck? I'm writing these down correctly, aren't I? Maybe they don't have the records for these people? Should we try DB9? Problem is I don't remember which room DB9 was from. Actually, I guess we could, you know what? I need to go to scroll back to see what these, make sure these are connected properly. Going back in the log just to see when we started printing off the tape. I think it was before we read the cipher. Maybe not. Should probably ask James about some of this other stuff, by the way. Okay, here's the triangle for DBE9. Okay, that was E. Alright, this is DB9. DB9E75. Okay, cool. Set dial to DB975. None of these are valuable. Do I have to do this sequentially? As the dial is set, the pedestal begins to hum and the sound of turning gears can be heard. The tape beneath the panel's glass display suddenly advances from right to left, erasing the display. Then with a clunk, it advances one further step, revealing F. Really? We gotta do this individually? The tape advances a step further and now reads F6. Okay, fine. F6A. The humming of the pedestal suddenly increases in both volume and pitch. The tape spins forward, blanking the display. Then, searching, another advance, then, file found, file F6A142, retrieval. The humming ceases to be replaced with a quick-paced ticking, something like a watch. With an easy grace, 6 thin rods emerge from the sides of the pyramid. Growing quickly, they reveal a series of articulations along their length as they bend downwards. Within moments, they have revealed an impressive span, making a shape not unlike a spider. Oh, that's what James was talking about, the spiders. Gotcha. The lower set of legs, arms, pushes lightly against the base, freeing it. It turns with blinding speed, and leaps, and it is gone. Running along the wall on 4 legs, its arms gripping at protrusions and flinging it further up, up. It stops somewhere far above, bracing itself on 2 legs. 2 others reach forward and grip, then pull, opening a distant drawer. Its 2 arms reach inward, flicking through files with blinding speed. Then, finding what it seeks, it grabs hold and pulls a folder close to its body. It then gently wraps its arms around to hold it tight. Closing the drawer, it quickly makes its way back and, with a final tick, the pyramid settles itself back into the pedestal, holding out the retrieve folder on 2 articulated rods of brass. Tape advances. It now reads retrieval complete. Alright, can we take the folder? File easily slides out of the waiting brass arms. Silently, they retract, leaving the pyramid in its original state. Open the folder. Okay, this was Cleve Anderson, so we can say this was his room. Whoops. Now we know his last name too, which is nice. Fill that in. Files broken up to several sections: personal information, patient history, initial diagnosis, personal notes, and etc. Patient name Cleve Anderson, age 23, 5'10", 12 stone. That's like a weight. Gray eyes, brown hair. Distinguishing marks: small burns on palms and inner forearms. These should heal within a few weeks. Possible scarring. Residence 1428 Fleet Street, 2nd floor loft. Sessions money, a few pound notes, a key, and identification papers. Okay. Patient history. Processing by James Houlihan. Okay, that's the assistant. He arrived on 1855, I guess, February 23rd, 11 o'clock. We were the attending alienist? Are there aliens here? It's just a term I'm not familiar with, I guess. Patient arrested for disturbance of the peace. Neighbors describe screaming and raving at all hours. Found comatose in his flat. See personal information. Awoke in transit, mostly compliant though some resistance. Completely silenced, refused to answer questions. Diagnosis: dissociative disorder, acute schizophrenia with paranoid tendencies. Does not, however, seem dangerous to himself or others. Prognosis: to be kept under observation until such time as attending alienist decides on further treatment, uncertain of necessary duration. Okay, and then he left, I guess, 8 months later? Or wait a minute, this might be... I'm not sure whether the authors wrote it from an American or a European perspective with like the month-day order. So he died. Initial diagnosis. Patient initially in comatose state. Initial brief physical examination reveals bruising along the upper arms and temple and burns on the palms and inner forearms. Half an hour later, he awoke and via the use of smelling salts, immediately catatonic, unresponsive to physical auditory stimuli. Patient physically responsive to stimuli at 2350, though eyes are unnaturally dilated. Seems to be uncertain where he is. 2355, patient allows a more thorough physical examination. Seems to be suffering from symptoms in line with shock, exposure, and exhaustion. Constantly shivering as if from cold. 2400, patient still refuses to speak. Examination of tongue, throat reveals that he is physically capable of speech. Violently shakes his head when asked to do so. Otherwise compliant and non-violent. Refuses to make any noise whatsoever, even to say ah during examination. Possible phobia towards noise. Seems fine with others making sound. Bite marks along inside of cheeks and along tongue, possibly epileptic. Personal notes, March 3rd. Morning. Place patient... Okay, these are our own notes, I guess. Place patient in 6D, and have made sure to retain the only key to corridor 6. Right, which we have. D seemed the best choice all in all, at least it's structurally sound. Several of the rooms have completely collapsed. Yeah, what the fuck. Patient completely compliant, no struggling whatsoever. He even seemed to calm considerably once led through the panopticon to his room. Went to sleep almost immediately. In the afternoon, checked on patient early via Prism, still sleeping. Went in with breakfast and a sheaf of papers, asked him if he knew how to read as he ate. He laughed, a short bark. At least he made a noise. Really, Von Burst? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not like that here, too, but... we'll see. Afternoon, checked on my patient early via Prism, still sleeping. Went in with breakfast... Oh, wait, we already read that. His response to this was immediate. A look of horror, and both hands clapped over his mouth. Okay, so he didn't mean to make the laugh. Brief panic attacks, heavy breathing. Calmed down soon after, nodded and gestured for the papers. Communicated via writing for about an hour. Very basic answers to questions. Who are you? His name. Where do you live? What do you do? Occupation, mechanist assistant. Refused to answer any deeper questions, simply stared. Okay, March 4th. Some progress made as the patient is at least answering questions. From a conversation this morning, you know why you're here? Penance. What do you mean, penance? Have you done something wrong? Hubris. Pride? You think you're here because of your pride, Cleve? What were you proud of? Patient stared for a long moment before writing. Doing something no one was meant to do. What is it, Cleve? What was no one meant to do? No response. Night. Made the mistake of leaving a pen in the patient's cell. Returned to find a series of words engraved into the wall. It must have taken hours. Confiscated what barely remained of the writing instrument. Patient refuses to talk about what he wrote. Okay, so that's the writing we saw. March 5th. Wheels within wheels within wheels. The patient has built a complex inner world for his delusions to play out within. Complex and self-reverential. At least part of these delusions revolve around an unseen they. A shadowy group that is paradoxically powerful and weak. Powerful enough to control the world, but so weak that Cleve was able to steal their secrets like some modern Prometheus. They had brought me here. Who did, Cleve? They control everything. Who are they? Where are they? Even here they controlled the one that came before you until... Oh yes, Simon Brand. Patient stopped at this, looking unsure. The one that came before me? What do you mean? They controlled who until what? Patient seemed to come to a decision. They killed him, you know. Even though it was a suspected suicide. Hey, Travis. Tried to speak at this, but he kept writing furiously. Had him killed. I listened. I spied. They never knew I knew. I don't understand. They'll control you, too, soon. No, they won't, Cleve. You can trust me. Patient almost smiled at this, then seemed struck with fear, melancholy. No, they won't. Right, Cleve. Patient shook his head furiously. My hubris may kill us all long before then. Someone who came before me, someone who is dead. Could he possibly be referring to Dr. Brand? Perhaps he could. March 6th. Oh man, how many are there? Evening. Yesterday's push seems to have been too much. Patient upset most of the day, crying, though still silent. The only event of notice happened when I brought him dinner. I placed the tray down and attempted to get his attention, repeating his name several times. This apparently made him angry, and he seemed for a moment about to yell when he caught himself and grabbed a sheet of paper. Not Cleve. You're not Cleve? Who are you then? Not who?
Not who? You're not... Who are you? All right then. What then? What are you? Patient seemed taken aback by this question, thought a long moment, then wrote, Something new. And how did this happen? How did you become something new? A look of utter disgust crossed his face. Infection. The patient refused to answer any more questions. Oh my god, how many notes are there? Okay, thank god there's not that many notes. March 7th, morning. Complete change in mood again. Possible mood swings? Entered patient's cell to find him awake, alert, and rather happy to see me. Immediately signaled for pen and paper. Patient proceeded to write a long, rambling message, thanking me for my understanding and referring to conversations we never had, but that were eerily probable. Tried explaining to the patient after reading it which portions had happened and which hadn't. Effective comment was almost immediate. Confusion, sorrow, then understanding. Patient began nodding and almost laughing with a sardonic smile on his face. Okay, good to hear, miss. Asked the patient to explain what had happened. Did he now understand the difference between things that had happened in real life and those scenarios he played out in his mind? The patient stared for a long moment before writing, almost angrily. Is your magnetophone still broken? My magnetophone? How did you know I was an etherist, Cleve? I never mentioned it. A different you did then, to a different me. A different me, Cleve? Well, then he was wrong. It's not broken, its signal is just not strong enough. A look of confusion and fear from the patient. Then, you didn't say that last time? Last time? Patient's hand was shaking as he wrote, Something has changed. This exchange broke something in the patient. In a rush, he began writing, trying to explain at least part of his delusions to me in detail. I've tried to summarize my understanding of it best as I can. The patient has, in his mind, somehow come unstuck in time. He speaks of it as if it were a malleable thing. He mentioned several times in his notes to me that he could save moments, as if in a delaying glass. He kept several of them with him and restored them as he wished, reliving the past, present, future. When asked about the different me, he replied that he'd tried restoring several times, changing them, seeing different paths that resulted. Is this like a meta commentary on of the game experience itself? This, he said, was the best he could find. I asked him if he had saved a moment from before all this happened, before his infection, back when he was simply Cleve. He said he'd restarted from time to time, but that it only took him as far back as his new creation. The patient refused to speak any further of this infection. I wonder if there's a game like every time you play it, it's different or something in that regard. Perhaps. March 7th, addendum. Couldn't sleep. Patient's remarks kept bounding around inside my head. His internal fantasies have a nature not unlike the new engine science of fractals. The further I dig into them, the more there is to find. Of particular distress is the source of some of his information. I'm certain I never mentioned my hobbies to him, and Dr. Brand's unfortunate end has been kept out of the public eye. Ended up in the Panopticon in the early morning hours, with quarter 6's key in my hand. Wasn't certain at first what I was hearing when I brought up 6D. The system is far from perfect, and Chamber's acoustics hardly help cut down on the echoes. Looking through the prism revealed patient jerking spastically, almost rhythmically in his sleep. Patient was definitely speaking, and while some of the words, some English, some Greek, some Latin, seemed understandable, I believe what I was listening to was, in fact, glossolalia, random phonemes and syllables which my mind tried forming into some meaning. Conclusion uncertain. Patient is again clearly capable of speech. Perhaps some form of stroke or mental trauma has caused his speech to become unintelligible, and the patient's schizophrenic delusions were built to explain this. March 8th. Afternoon. Further investigation and discussion with the patient has resulted in what I believe is a complete structure and definition of his internal world. Patient has changed and is no longer himself.
Patient claims change has resulted from an infection. Patient is a glossolalic, though this is only revealed when he sleeps and cannot keep conscious control. I conclude that the change was the onset of glossolalia, though the source is still unknown. Patient claims the infection resulted from the secrets he stole from a shadowy group he refers only to as them. I am still uncertain if this group is real and the patient has simply incorporated them into his delusions, or if they were created out of whole cloth. The infection was never intended, it resulted from his hubris. Even they would never use it in such a way. Again, I am uncertain what this represents. Possibly the patient has associated some action/event that took place in his life concurrent with the onset of glossolalia. Patient claims the changes caused time to become distorted for him. It is not a linear thing. This may be a metaphor for the internal mental confusion of which the patient's inability to communicate is a symptom. Patient refuses to discuss or even think on the affection, that what it is, where it came from, if it may be catching. When confronted, patient cuts off all communication, entering a semi-comatose state, often shaking the head spastically. Possible conclusion: the patient believes that his glossolalia is infectious and will spread if he speaks. This may be the key to his eventual recovery. Perhaps by confronting him with the cognitive dissonance, specifically showing him that my listening to him has not infected me, he can begin to tear down the walls he has built about himself. March 8th, Addendum. Night. Witness patient's babbling and spastic movements again. Possibility they may be connected. Patient's speech definitely has a pattern about it which encourages listeners' attention and conscious attempt to find meaning. I have decided to attempt a direct intervention/confrontation with the patient tomorrow. On a personal note, I must start taking James's advice and cut down my hours. While observing the patient, I noticed that my vision blurred and I experienced a distinct dizziness. When I shook it off, I found that I must have fallen asleep at some point. I checked the time, found that several hours had passed. Maybe it is infectious after all, and now our character is getting these different time jumps or whatever. March 9th. This will be this case's final note. One would have thought I would have learned. Everything has told me one thing and I have thought another. My hubris is such as to put whatever Cleve thought he ever did to shame. Cleve is dead. Too far, too soon. My initial confrontation accomplished nothing. He refused again to speak of the infection and my interpretation of it. He almost laughed when I told him my theory of glossolalia, writing back that he was quite aware of what it was, and that no, that was not his problem. I think that what I did next was out of anger. When I told him about my nightly observations, he was clearly confused. Said that he knew that no one had entered the chamber while he slept. That he had checked over several of his saved times, which is when I explained the panopticon to him and pointed out the listening tube hidden in the corner of his cell. All of the blood drained from his face and he once again entered his catatonic state, though this time with much more vehemence. He spasmed and shook. It took a long moment before I realized what was different. He was speaking. Single word yes, but speaking nonetheless. All he said was no, again and again in a constant stream. He looked up as he realized what he was doing, and yet he didn't stop for a moment. He clawed at his mouth, bit until it bled, but the word kept coming. And then it contorted in his throat into a snarl as he leapt at me. I'm a fool. I had thought him non-violent and more. He was still weak, tired. Of course, I'd never had an orderly there with me, for fear of discovery, but I'd never bothered with any restraint whatsoever. Though weak, he was far stronger than he looked. We struggled as I attempted to force myself towards the door and help. I slipped from his grasp and was almost away when he leapt upon me again. I pushed back, kicked with all my might. I didn't understand the sound until I turned around. He didn't stand a chance. His head had hit the side of the metal door with such force that half his brains must have spilled out in a moment. Geez, that violent? The flicker of life in his eyes continued only for a moment as I dropped to my knees beside him. So dude, we actually killed him? He only managed to say one thing. Too late. Before it went out forever.
leaving a look of horror and oddly pity on his face. I write this now and will seal up the file in the archives in some half-hearted penance, such as Cleve sought here. If sometime in the future my sins find me out, then I shall pay for them then. For now, I simply wish to forget all of it. Damn, son. As the file is closed, something nestled within its pages falls to the floor with a loud clang. Ooh, okay. The floor. There's nothing visibly special about the floor. Oh, what was there? Large iron key. Okay, take the key. Iron key. An old-fashioned rusted iron key. All right, so I'm wondering maybe that's to a new corridor, perhaps. All right, remember we still have 2 more files to look at. Let's pause here as we process the buys. Johnny Quest, the negligent parent who takes his 10-year-old son to dangerous places where havoc will probably ensue. Moves out of Elf's Christmas Adventure, Panic in the Park, and Frankenstein to V78 from Duriel into the top 80. And then Bombers 3 for Muppet Treasure Island. Moves out of Blue Force, Hugo 2, and VAT to V66. Mantis 3 for Iceman. Moves out of 3 Poisonous Passages. V2, and then also coming in from Morgan, responds back to getting those Poisonous Passages back. 5-slot lead. Morgan responds to Mantis's move. Okay, thanks everybody for the buys. All right, so let's resume. We have an iron key. Yeah, I do want to see if that's another one for a different corridor. Corridor 6, perhaps. But let's look at the other things in the dial. What's in our inventory, by the way? So we have, Steve Anderson. And all its numbers, okay. Set dial to 4. Okay. Set dial to 3. Set dial to 6. Set dial to 1. Set dial to A. Set dial to 2. Once again, the pyramidal thing leaps into action, retrieving a file from a drawer far in the distance. The tape advances and now reads retrieval complete. Okay, take file. Earth machine, 12 months. Thanks so much for this 1 year of support. Thank you so much, Earth. Thank you, Earth. 1 year of support. So yeah, now you can. Yeah, okay. I'm checking to make sure because of Mr. Viking, but you can now make your 1 year viewer pick if you like. Thank you so much, Earth. And just let us know what the next buying opportunity. Thank you so much, Earth. 1 year. Wow. All right, so how do we take the other file? Or did it already give it to us? Or open, what was it? Pyramid? That's not something that opens. Oh, that's Bartholomew, okay. The file easily slides out of the waiting breath's arms, silently retract. Okay. Murdering characters off? That wasn't. We didn't do that. I didn't actively do that though. We had a character did that in the before the the game started. Can't blame that one on me, Gremlin. The file is fairly brief. It only covers the single night that Emmanuel Bartholomew spent at the hospital. The papers are written up by Dr. Simon Brand, and apparently there's been a mix-up in the system, as Bartholomew is listed as being kept in the lower rather than the upper quarter 6, room C specifically. Okay, so Bartholomew's listed as being kept in the lower rather than the upper quarter 6, room C specifically. But really he was in B, I think? Bartholomew was being held under suspicion of the murder of 2 men, Collard and Moore, which occurred in Warren Street, Fitzroy Square. The case is listed as customary. Bartholomew being held under observation for 24 hours to prove or disprove his insanity. Oh, under the McNaughton rule. Brand's final conclusion is that Emmanuel is fit to stand trial. Oh, you didn't get on. See, it's so weird. I think it's. I always thought the bot was at fault, but I'm starting to think Twitch is at fault. With all the, like, weird things that you guys are telling me about how the resubs work. I think just the information Twitch is providing is all fucked up. Thank you for mentioning that. So yeah, it resubbed automatically on August 4th with 100. July 5th got 600. So yeah, and this was 100. So I need to add another 600 for makeup. What's today's date? The 7th? Yeah, thank you for noticing that, Mr. Bedlam. Brand's final conclusion is that Emmanuel is fit to stand trial. So I forgot whether he died or not in custody. Accused of murdering Collard and Moore. Listed as. Why are there? Oh yeah, there are lower and upper. It is lower quarter 6, room C. Remember the fist hole? Do you like punch down? Something weird? I think I have him as staying in B. That was the number we got. Okay. Alright, the next thing we need to set out to D. B. 9. E. 7. Okay. Yeah. Oh, McNaughton roll. By the way, we should give out 2 Cedrics for, like, we got each of those other 2 files. The file is extensive, covering the 10 years Daniel McNaughton was in residence at Bethlehem before his death 2 years ago. Apparently he was kept in upper 6E for the first year, then moved to quarter 22 for the remainder. McNaughton was arrested for the attempted assassination of Prime Minister Peel and the death of Drummond, Peel's private secretary. Alright, now we know his first name. Assassination of Prime Minister and Secretary. McNaughton's defense stated that he was under the delusion of being persecuted by the Tories in his native Glasgow, who, he claimed, compelled him to act. The case, of course, became the first famous legal test for acquittal by reason of insanity. Victoria's response was to order the court to develop a stricter test for insanity, which led to the now standing McNaughton rule. Most of the later notes are by Superintendent Simon Brand, soliloquies on the McNaughton rule and its effects on both the legal system and the psychological profession.
Interesting, okay. Let me save again. I want to quickly look at something. We need to go back. So I want to restore to when we were originally in the Panopticon, I guess. I guess we don't even need to do that. Let me go back just to make sure. So we're back in the office. I want to go here. Walkway, circular chamber, insert rod into keyhole. The button labeled A. It is screeching echo. Okay, so A is where the loud noise came from. Or screeching noise. Okay, got it. So how did we push the triangle to get the tape? Nothing more happens. Okay, so if we move to push C, push triangle. Okay, so this was, my bad. So this was originally here. This was not. Got it. So this was the Emmanuel Bartholomew. And then E was where Daniel McNaughton was. Okay. And let's just make sure there wasn't any others. You can't push A. Right, okay, so I think those are all of them we could get. Got it. Okay. He doesn't want to push A again. Alright, cool. Gotcha. Yes, unfolding backwards. Restore. Renew. Point. Time. Space. Alright, so it's very, like, thematic. With that meta. Alright. Alright, so now... Is there anything else of interest in the room? Must be thousands of drawers. They extend yards in all directions, vanishing into the gloom. Alright, maybe we can ask more about James now. Ask James about archives. Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that. Can we give him, like, a file or something? Ask James about Iron Key. Ask James about McNaughton file. Give McNaughton file to James. Please, sir, remembering that entire quote has... Oh. Huh? Okay, we can't even do that. Alright. Wasn't there something else I wanted to ask him about? I thought we learned something new. Well, we learned many things, but... Okay. I almost want to listen to the cylinders again, because now we know so much more, they would make more sense. But let's see what this key does, the new key we have. It does not appear to fit. Remember they said F was broken? Should we try it there? We have to find a keyhole for it. Oh, I think I want to ask him about Cogden more. I see. So the Bartholomew, the problem is that they listed him as lower, but he was really upper. But maybe there was that hole in the floor, so we probably want to explore that. We also want to find 2D, or cell 2D, and explore hole in 6C. Actually, I guess we could say that 6 is here, because it seems like we may be going to a new quarter after all at some point. Alright, so the iron key doesn't work. I guess we could try going in there. Oh, horrible, we got the noise again in A. No, numbness, cold, arms, hands, finger. No, wait, it's B which is glowing, as in the eastern room of the lighted corridor. There is a broken pipe. Second broken door, okay. It is unopenable. Yeah, okay. So we can't do anything with F, it doesn't look like. Cheer up. So we can go in A. We just can't look at it on the viewer because of the noise. A room that has been stripped almost completely bare. We have a chair. Cheer up. Point at cheer up. There's a faint buzzing whine in the air, something seeming to come from the southern wall. Is that because that's where B is? The pipework. Some exposed pipework can be seen along the room's southern wall. From within emanates the faint sound of a cricket's chirping. Oh, that's the cheer up. Can I look in the pipe? No. So can we like break the wall? We don't really have any. We just have like cylinders and shit. Maybe we need to, at some point we need to do like insert our own data, I thought. Bad mojo. So this either coming from B, we need to get access to B or something. Or we break through the wall. Pull the pipe. Take the cricket. Can't go south. From behind it can be heard the steady drip of water. Push door. Pull door. Oh, it still thinks. Got it. Okay. Let's look in the 6C. Size of a clenched fist beyond darkness. Can we drop something in the hole? Drop box in hole. The whole area seems perfectly close to glass. No, they don't want us to do anything here. Weird. Maybe we should listen to... We can't listen to the sound of A, but maybe we could listen to the sound of one of the others. We should probably ask James about the Malkuth or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, Malkuth and Cather and stuff. Okay. Got it. Alright, we can't go in 6E. Okay. Alright, let's see what more we can ascertain from the Nopticon or whatever. Broken pipe at one end, dripping water. Yeah. How do we listen to the tubes? A horn. There we go. Listen to pipe. Okay. Dripping water. Okay. This doesn't tell us anything we already know. Right, the diffracted view, gray stone, so it means it's not really important. But there are mirrors there, or there used to be. So how can we see like the lower part of 6 corridor? Corridor 6. We can't push the arrow, can we? Fixed in place. Okay. High pitch whistling. There's something coming from the south. So south wall of 6A we gotta figure out, maybe. And what the hell does this key unlock? We'll have to figure out. Oh, we should have, maybe we should have had triage. Examine the pipe. Shit. That was kind of stupid. Wait, what? What? Here we go. Okay. Alright, so go north, north, northeast. Point at pipe work. Ah, damn it, doesn't know. Crap. Was there anything else I could look at? The whole... No, it only helped us with the writing. Okay. Alright, well. It sounds as if an insect is caught somewhere in the room. Some exposed pipe work. Yeah. How could we get a cricket? Or is it even really like an actual cricket? Probably not. Sure up. We just waited. I don't know how to deal with the pipe work. Cut somewhere in this room or the other room? Or in the pipes? Catch insect. Take cricket. No, it just thinks that's the pipe work. Alright. We're in the administration again. Hey, Rufus. Good pup. Okay. I want to go to this mechanist shop. Oh. Okay. You know about the megaphone? No. Small key to James. Ah, it's the key to your flat, Doctor. Are you certain you're feeling all right? Okay, thank you. So that's... We've never gone south of here, so maybe we can go home. We probably should do that next, shouldn't we? Okay. It wasn't a cell after all. Okay, what about the iron key? Never seen it before, sir. I wonder what it goes to. Indeed, James. I wonder that as well. I forgot that there was another exit here. Courtyard. This walled-off area sits at the bottom of a massive staircase, which leads into the building to the north. At its base is a sign reading Bethlehem Hospital Administration. The outer walls meet here, meeting at the distant gates, which sit to the southeast. Great. All right, I'm gonna have to move all of this other stuff here. Yeah. Probably should have put it next to the Panopticon anyway. All right. Excuse me. Flanking the top of the staircase on either side are two colossal statues. A handsome cab sits here with a tired old horse hitched to the front and the driver waiting patiently. When he hears footsteps clatter across the courtyard, the driver tilts his black cap and says, "Where to then, Doc?" With a smile, Triage silently rolls to a stop. Okay, let's look at these statues. Human figures they are, bald and muscular, naked except for a stream of cloth about their waists, each lying against an arch of stone. The leftmost, melancholy, grips the ground beneath him with a look of placid despair. On the right lies Mania, struggling against his chains. Oh, damn. Non-living statues, Raving Mania and Melancholy Mania, created by Robert Hooke, designer of Original Hospital. So can I go southeast to the gates or no? Mooresfield is bustling with activity this time of day, and evidence of such can be heard as the gates draw closer. Voices piled upon voices echoing through the streets and alleyways. Many voice minds, too. The first streets become visible, masses of humanity moving about. Over two numbers spreading... Thing, fart to? Fart. Ooh. Machines, horses, vines, voices, and cold. A freezing that locks the legs, that slows and stops. No, 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 no. Hurt many. Echo, far, no, no. Yes, yes, this is better. Pulling back, away, not towards. Towards warmth and sanity. Yes, back, hide, yes, now. Only hide. The driver's voice suddenly echoes across the courtyard. Sir? No need to get out into that, then, sir. I'm at your service. All right. Enter cab. Entered. Faced with the task of climbing into the cab, Triage is more than up to the challenge. Raising an extended first two wheels and then the others, it clambers inside beside. Driver. Well, let's look at the driver.
An older gentleman, skin tanned and wrinkled. He wears both a hat and an easy grin. Take his hat. Alright. Driver. Go to my flat. Distance, space, time, further, touch, more. In the shadow of the cab's interior, the cold comes once again. Grow, learn, reach. Seed. Exchange, expand. What's that? Sounded strange there for a moment, you did. Divide, copy, one, many, one. Vibrations passing through the cold into the surround air, escaping as sound. As Reggie, yes, success, more. As Reggie pulls the cab to a stop, he calls down. Oh, is that you said, sir? Sounded like something foreign. Never could understand why English folks can't stick to the Queen's English. That fancy talk always hurts my ears. Bit silly if you ask me. Unless, well, if you want to dance with the Green Fairy, that is of course your business, sir. Outside flat 2D in the hansom cab. Alright, so this means we're going to be able to go to that mechanist place after all, probably. The small empty road lies at the base of a small hill. It is lined with thin buildings, many advertising flats to let in their windows. The one directly north contains a door labeled 2D. To the west is the massive stone edifice that is Newgate Jail. A gallows prepared for tomorrow's public execution towers over the street. Interesting. Okay, let's move this down over here. Okay, let me know. Alright, can we enter, unlock door? Unlock door with small key. The door to 2D is now locked. Open the door. The door to 2D opens. Enter 2D. I'm inside. Oh, fine. You're saying I can't enter 2D unless I exit the hansom cab, but apparently I was able to unlock the door and open it from the hansom cab. Yeah. Did I have to pay the cab driver? Sorry. Pay driver? Oh, his name is Reginald. That's right. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I put the, why I set that to a half hour. Sorry. Alright, now we're in 2D. Despite being small and cluttered with bits and pieces of electronics, this one-room flat gives the impression of being quite clean and hygienic. No dust or dirt lurk in its bright corners. The east wall holds a mirror and is neatly lined with evenly spaced picture frames. A large table, clearly a workshop space, takes up the west wall beneath an arched window. A shadow stretches lazily from the window across the floor. A flat single exit lies to the south. Triage rows, so stop. Okay, examine the mirror. 3 heavy oak frames, line the wall beside the mirror, each containing a picture. A young man standing proudly outside Charing Cross Medical School, a formal photo of a junior rugby team, with the same young man in the third row, and an older version of the man smiling from a gaggle of classmates on graduation day. The man in each picture is a shadow of the face reflected in the mirror. Weirder. Oh, okay. Same as looking at me. Alright. Can we take the pictures? No such thing can be seen. Look behind the mirror. There's a safe. Oh, okay, fine. There's also a table, right? Much of the heavy wooden excuse me, tabletop is obscured by a large magnetophone. At one corner of the table is a paper-backed book lying beside a small trade card. Okay, hang on. Let's do mirror magnetophone. Oh, geez. Another trash person? Oh, they thought the book I meant the manual? No. What? Paperback book? Okay. Card? A trade card depicting a smiling, smartly dressed gentleman with a small black box on the wheels by its side. It reads, Modern Office Marvel. The
Triage Mark III, TM, is the marriage of professional efficiency and understated elegance. Its sleek onyx casing houses a mechanical brain capable of rapid data retrieval and analysis. Pre-programmed with an encyclopedia's breadth of knowledge, the Triage Mark III, TM, is every businessman's friend. Savvy executives may choose to order the stunning ivory data entry service device sold separately to expand and customize their Triage's library. Bilba Dumons. Okay, yeah, there's the address. That's where we want to go. On the opposite side of the card is a handwritten note. Bill of sale, 1 AR thick amplifier to be picked up. Oh, we already paid. Order number 59208, Dumont. Awesome. All right, well, that's definitely where we need to go next. So we already ordered it, apparently. So we just need to go there. Pick up amplifier. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so I think we're just going to do the end, see what we can see in the flat, and then we'll call it for the night. Definitely take the card if we haven't already. Okay, thank you. Paperback book. The book is open to a marked page labeled Troubleshooting Your Magnetophone, a home user's guide. 1. Problem. Nothing happens when I turn my magnetophone on. Be sure that your magnetophone is hooked up to a viable power source and that the power source is active. If you are sure your power source is active, toggle your switch. 2. Problem. All I hear is static, or I can hear other operators, but they can't hear me speak, or they do not answer. To broadcast, be sure to depress the transmit button each time you wish to speak. While the transmit button is not depressed, your magnetic phone acts as a receiver, not a transmitter. Also, be sure to use the proper etiquette when operating your magnetophone. To let another operator know you wish to make contact, press the transmit button and use the universally accepted phrase, calling CQ. If you fail to use this code, other operators may believe they are picking up the middle of an alternate conversation and will not respond for fear of interrupting. 3. Problem. I can hear static and voices, but they are faint or indistinct. Magnetophone customers living in highly populated urban areas may experience transmission interference due to the presence of large buildings, crowded streets, and pollution. You may try to alleviate this problem by placing the magnetophone by a clear opening, such as a window. If this does not fix the problem, you may need to purchase one of several amplification devices. Oh, so that was actually a magnetophone amplifier. Well, hopefully we can also order the triage expansion unit at Demons. Design to fit your machine's expansion slot. Got it. Okay. I guess, can we take the paperback book? Paper book. It is. It's true. That's actually from the manual. That wasn't my quote. I was just reading from the manual. Pretty funny. Stout metallic box, approximately 2 feet long by a foot deep. On its side is a small label which reads Wheatstone Cook Aether Magnetophone Company, beneath which is a small closed panel. Its front contains a simple toggle switch, a button labeled Transmit, and the long graceful curve of a Signet speaker. At its back is a small valve connected to a rubber tube which trails along the floor. Small closed panel labeled Expansion Slot. Oh, got it. Expansion slot panel opens, revealing a small empty socket containing 2 vertical holes. Got it. Let's make sure the tube is connected. Black with a diameter of perhaps 2 inches, it snakes along the floor to vanish a few feet into a hole in the wainscoting. No such thing can be seen. Wainscoting? Oh. I mean, I'm guessing it's plugged in. Can we pull the tube? The end nestled into the valve shifts slightly, and a wisp of steam escapes with a hiss. Perhaps that isn't the best of ideas. Alright. Push the tube. Insert tube into hole. Alright, whatever. I'm guessing it's okay. Toggle the switch. Toggle switch is on. Press transmit. The button stays depressed as long as it is pushed, then releases. Nothing more happens. Oh, yeah, okay. The window sits high along the flat's eastern wall, flooded with sunshine and shadow. Ah, so we also moved the things on the west wall, though. Can we move the magnetophone? It's far too heavy to move. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, doesn't even know what the magnetophone is. Okay. Driver, go to 1428 Flat Street. Alright, so I better not get you a meeting. What were you trying to get me to go to? I don't know, go to Dumont? Do I have to go to Smithfield Market or something? Yeah. The trip feels none too comfortable, but at least the cab's interior gives some insulation against the tumult of London. Before long, the cab slows and the driver announces the reached destination, Smithfield Market, in the handsome cab. Oh shit, we never went west of the flat. Ugh. Damn it. Alright, I mean, I'm sure we can go back, but yeah, a little annoying. Well, this is merely the outskirts of the market. Okay, yeah, probably we shouldn't get involved with this, but... its presence still threatens to overwhelm the senses. The smell of the abattoir, the din of 1,000 voices shouting, the sight of masses of humanity talking, shopping, selling. Liquid Flood, thanks very much for the 5 months. Thank you so much, Flood. How's it going? Appreciate it, sir. The only quiet in the din lies southward towards Fleet Street. Okay, that's probably where we're gonna need to go. All right, let's save here. Okay. Yeah, well, it took a lot longer. It's taking a lot longer than many of you thought, but I guess we didn't find the easy ending or what have you. But I'm actually kind of glad. I wouldn't want this just to be 20 minutes. I guess, yeah, why don't we open up buys? Earth Machine was going to give us his 1-year subversary pick, if you will. Add to the viewer queue at V89. Well, we're moving on now. Moving on. Okay, Portal is 1986 sci-fi game. Okay. Cool, thank you, Earth. Like the sci-fi. Alright, Flood 2 for Daedalus Encounter, ahead of Goblin's Quest 3 and Jack the Ripper, into the top 60 at V60. Flood also buying one for Homie the Clown. That'll move ahead of a Poisonous Passage. Sanzart V4. Okay, cool. Let me see if we can find, let me just see, Portal. Because I know there's like a modern Portal, and then like everything I look at is going to be from the modern Portal game, right? Well, we're moving on now. Probably. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find. Alright, I guess we'll just look at Moby games then. Oh, Aardvark did find it. Thank you, Aardvark. Alright, we're going to turn off... Sorry, guys. We're going to have to turn off buys there, because I got to get going after this. But Alright, so this is a look at Portal here. Ooh, PC Junior. Did you ever play this, Earth? Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, sorry, Flood. You already used your 3 for the day. Oh no, it just looked. It seemed cool. All right, well that's cool. I like that. You're now entering history. Got that great. Old interface, nice. All right, and then we did have one from Ghost for Willie Beamish, The Adventures of. Moves at a full throttle to V13. 70 slot buys now for Beamish. Hey, Ghost. All right, cool. Slowly but surely indeed. In the top 13. All right, so that'll do it for today. Should be back tomorrow night to continue with Slouching towards Bedlam. Yeah, it's very, very sort of intriguing and interesting. At first, I was like, "What the hell is going on with the whole phonograph and stuff?" But yeah, the story has sort of nicely revealed itself. There's still naturally a bit of mystery we're gonna have to parse through. But it's interesting. I just hope it's not supernatural. I don't like supernatural stuff, but I'm digging the steampunk kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I hear you, Ghost. I've been kind of I mean, I'm finally like clearing. I'm feeling good now. I just still have like some phlegm and obviously a little bit of coughing, which is kind of annoying. So hopefully that will clear up a little bit. All right, why don't we host up Macaw? He's playing an Out of Control sci-fi thriller. I can't see which one it is, but we'll host / rate him up. We'll also give a bonus Cedric here at the end of the stream, and yes, that will do it for day 1 of Slouching towards Bedlam. Bedlam indeed. What's going on at this insane asylum? Are we becoming insane ourselves? Probably yes. Will we be able to avoid the most calamitous fate? It remains to be seen. Well, hopefully we can find out in part tomorrow. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We'll catch you next time right here on the Das Adventure Quest.